So we are ready to start writing our Markdown instructions. So first of all, we may want to add a heading. A heading, as opposed to like this would be normal text. A heading has like it's what separates different sections, and we have different levels. With one hashtag, that would be heading level 1. With 2 hashtags, it would be like level, so this would be like a section. You notice how the formatting changed in the right side, and then we can repeat this up to 6 hashtags. So we have 6 different levels. So this is like smaller section, and let's just do, you can try it on your own, but we have up to 6 hashtags in here and everything works fine. When we add the 7th one, you'll see that this is not what we expected. So it's only up to 6. So what are the things that we may want to show in this document? First of all, like an overview. What does this code do? And then we may want to explain how to install our code. So that would be like installation. We may want to talk about dependencies, and then we will add more sections later on. To add more visual separation between these elements, we may want to add these 3 dashes, which will cause this horizontal line. I personally like them very much, but this is up to you. They are not necessary. So in the overview, we may want to add some details on what this tool does. And if you want bold or italics or strike through, we can do that as well. So by doing 2 asterisks like this, you'll notice how this pi keylogger is in bold. So let's say we wanted research logger to be in italics. So we will do that with just 1 asterisk on each, and we can see the expected result in here. And if we wanted to do something stripebook, like for instance, this is not for like to be used outside academics, academics purposes. Let's say we want it not to be strike through like this. So in the installation, for example, we could add a requirement sections with the dependencies, things that they need to have installed or things that they need to do before they can run our code. We could add another separation line and then add the Linux dependencies. So in here, if we change this by a number and then the dot, we could have an order list instead of an unordered list. So let's say first you need Python, then you need one of these operating systems, etc. Another option is that if we want to make it like a thing, a to-do list that they need to do, we could use the unordered list. And by adding this brackets with a space in between them, you'll notice here how this can be checkable. And when I check, it has an X in here. And when I uncheck it, it has nothing between the brackets. So we will do the same in here. And I personally like this so that they can start checking the things once they've checked that they've done it. Now, when we look at the dependencies in here, because these are commands that can be considered as code, this looks a little bit weird in here. So what we can do is by adding 3 of this, look at how this translated into a code block. And then if we want some highlighting in here, we may tell it which language this code is in. So for instance, this is Bash, and then you see how this was highlighted properly. Now let's say that I have this image that I would like to appear in my README file. How do we do it? So first step would be to copy the URL where that image is stored, and let's go below our heading 1, and we're going to use this. So this in here is the URL of that file, that image that we just saw. And then we're going to use the exclamation mark and then brackets. Inside, we're going to give a name of what this represents. In this case, it will not be shown as it is just the image and then the open parenthesis to give it the URL to the image. So here we see that this was rendered. So let's say that I also have another image with the license that this code has. So just as an example, let's say that it has MIT license and we can put it here. So this is just on 2 images, but it makes it feel so much more like elevated. Now let's imagine that we want to tell the people how to get our code. So we could add a new section inside the overview where we tell them that the official repository is hosted on GitHub, and this will show the link. But what if we want to give them like a link that says download the code? We can also do that by using this. So this is just an emoji, but we can open brackets and put in here the text that we want to appear in here and the link between parentheses, that these links are both the same. So these are 2 ways of doing the same. I personally like this version more because it's just easier to read. And in here, let's use just 3 hashtags because we want this get the code to be nested inside the overview. Now, for this project in particular, it is a keylogging project that we're using, or that we used in the past when I was at college, to just gather data as people were translating text, and we use that for academic only research purposes. However, keyloggings can be used for not so cool purposes. So what if I wanted to add a warning, like the software is intended to strictly be used for research, academic purposes, and just the warning, misuse may violate privacy laws in your jurisdiction. Now, if we have it only like this is not strong enough. Like, it could be easily skipped and people will not get it, but this is an important message. So what we can use in Markdown is a block code. So by adding this greater than symbol, you see that this turned into something that is visually less likely to be skipped. Let's say we also want to make the life easier of those people who are going to look into our code, and we want to show them what is the project structure, what can they expect on each folder. So we could add a table with 2 columns. The first one will be folder, like what is the name of each folder, and then what is the purpose of that folder. So we are going to include the structure of the data like this. And then we're going to add this, like one of the folders is click images. We're going to add a description for each, and we're going to repeat for several of the folders that they can find in our code. Now, we saw before that the code was shown like this when we use these 3 backticks. However, these are block codes, but we also have inline code, and because these are folders within our code and they are part of the code, we may want to use inline code blocks and see the difference, that is only just this little bit that is formatted as if it were code. So we can repeat that for each of them. Up to this point, we've seen how to create a README.md file that will make you stand out because this is actually appealing. It attracts people's attention. Now, we can keep improving this, but it will be more about reusing the same type of structures each time to have something like this, which is more complete in terms of how to use the code. But the idea in here is that you already have all the building blocks to be able to create something like this on your own.